You need to stop watching art videos. Everything. You need to stop watching art challenges, process videos, art advice, art entertainment in general, and even art tutorials. Well, that's all I have to say. Enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye, have a great time.
Alright, I'm just kidding. Let me dial it back a bit. See, YouTube has been a blessing and a curse to the world. It's provided many people with a platform to share their lives, their passions, information, entertainment, useless opinions. It's gotten so big that even existing TV networks have taken to it as well. But we know well enough that majority of the content here on this website is attention-catching entertainment that keeps us more involved in the lives of others than even our own, steals our time, rots our brains, and leaves us feeling unaccomplished in the end. That is, if we're even lucky enough to still have that level of self-awareness. But like I said, there's actually good-willed content here. We have people here who make content to encourage others, share advice to students on how to ace school, share life hacks and instructions on how to carry out even the most specific tasks that you think no one would make a video about. And lucky for us artists, we have tons of art tutorials teaching us how to do specific things like to sculpt the head, draw poses, gauge proportions. We also have process videos where artists share the full process of putting together a piece. Heck, we even have people like Speedchar and Dicko putting together a fully narrated real-time process series of creating characters for games and animations respectively. There's also what I'd like to call art advice and encouragement, which are less about holding your hand and guiding you on how to do something, but are rather about giving broad advice and encouragement on what to do to grow as an artist, how to go about learning some art elements, and all those kind of stuff. Channels that have tons of content like this are the likes of Mark Brunette, Jan Sculpts, and Pickac, just to name a few. Then we have art entertainment, which comes in various forms, spanning from content like that of Mohammed Agbadi, Jazza, and even Sam Does Arts. And I know it's weird that in a video about managing how much you watch art videos, I took so much time to talk about all these good resources that can be really helpful for learning art and making it fun. What if I told you that that's exactly the issue here? Good art content is so good that it makes a good substitute for some of the unproductive content that we watch. Let me give an example using myself and my YouTube journey. In January this year, I started watching YouTube advice videos. I learned a bunch about how the algorithm works, a bunch of thumbnail and title gimmicks, and other things to keep people's attention and keep people coming back for more. The truth is, if I kept watching those videos, I'd keep feeling happy that I'm being productive with my time. But if I didn't actually start posting on the channel, that would be a false sense of accomplishment, We're constantly seeking a sense of accomplishment, but our brains are really lazy creatures. They look for the means of getting that accomplishment with the least resistance. That's how we end up spending the whole day watching others create instead of creating ourselves. Now, am I saying you should quit watching art videos or YouTube videos altogether? Heck no. Even I'll never stop. Just put checks on it. I'd summarize it in 2 parts. Build art habits and reduce YouTube/overall screen time. Generally, the more time you spend being productive, in this case by doing art, and prioritizing more wisely, the less time you're gonna waste on unimportant things. So a good way to address bad habits is to build counter habits. To do this, I'd recommend you plan out your days. It'd be helpful if you put your art as one of the first things, heck, maybe even before or just after your shower. That is, if you indulge in such frivolities. That'll get you in a productive state early. What's important is that you make sure there's a spot planned for it, not a spot where you're likely gonna be tired or already distracted by your phone and other responsibilities. I mentioned morning because that's the part of the day you have the most control over, and it's when your mind is the freshest. If you can put together a solid morning routine and fix art practice in there, you'll be unstoppable. I'm still working on that myself. One thing I try to do is to leave the house early enough and go to the library, many times intentionally leaving my phone behind. This is because I've already associated my room with goofing off, watching videos, and not getting anything done. It could still work at other times of the day though, but less likely and less effectively. I'd recommend setting alarms, but if you're anything like me, you'd probably grow numb to them. I'm not exactly the best at following my own plans, so I recommend being accountable to someone else, preferably someone who can physically monitor, remind, and if possible, actually drag you to work. Just do whatever it takes to ensure that you carry out those plans. One thing I do some days to make sure I get something done is to schedule streams. When I schedule a stream, I use you guys as my form of accountability. Because I know when I schedule a stream, it'd really suck if I didn't show up. Also, I've got you guys watching me, which helps keep me on task during the stream. And having you guys to talk to while I work helps prevent a sense of working alone. Art and many other tasks are better done with friends, so I recommend you get those. And no, friends aren't some cheap art supplies from the store. Not that you would know that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. See, I know it might be hard for you to go outside and interact with the human world, but just give it a try. I believe in you. I don't care what the others have been saying. You can make friends too. And if you can't, I guess now would be a good time to subscribe. I'll be your friend. There, buddy. Now, quick note, you've probably noticed that the advice I give in this video is not only practical to artists, but anyone who has a content consumption habit that steals time they'd like to spend on a more important endeavor. So if you're finding this video helpful to you, feel free to share it with anyone you think might need it. And please let YouTube know that you like it by dropping a like as well. Now back to the topic. Now, like I said, the second part of not getting stuck in the trap is to reduce the content consumption itself. One thing I've done is to set various alarms across the day to wake me up from my drone-like state of consuming content and to assess my day so far. Sometimes I even add messages to myself in the alarm so I feel a bit guilty. Messages like, "Would your father be happy with you? Look at yourself. Would your father be doing this? What are you doing right now? Is this what your kids want? Think about your future." Another thing you can do is to create various modes and routines on your phone. I use a Samsung phone, but I'm sure many other phones have such capabilities. I have various modes on my phone set at various times in the day to deactivate various apps, trigger do not disturb, and I've even had modes that turn my screen to grayscale, taking away a lot of the appeal of watching videos. And you can even make it open certain apps and open a sub option in them. So this summer I set modes on my phone to influence my whole day, and while I'm still a lazy bum and interfere with the mood sometimes, I still had more productive days than I'd expect of myself previously. This is how it went. I have my phone wake me up at 6:30 a.m. to a specific friend's Snapchat, who is the only one I keep a streak with. Just to build a pattern, it's relatively safe for me since I don't really like Snapchat anyway. Then till around 8 a.m., most of my apps are unavailable to use, so that I get up, pray, do my exercise, which I've been slacking on lately, clean up, and get ready for the day. I then get 8 to 9 a.m. of free app access, during which I hope to get to the library or wherever I plan to lock in for the day. Then between 9 a.m. and noon, all games and most social media and various apps as well are out of commission. Then I have free access till 3 p.m. when the previous mode is activated again, just in case I've gotten carried away again, and also just to generally reduce how much time I spend on social media, even when not working. You see how elaborately you can set these things such that even if you find it hard to follow plans, you're still going to be nudged by your own phone more towards productivity than distraction. Now, generally, I get distracted way less when I'm on my laptop, so I've never done this, but if you want to eliminate distractions for time periods on your laptop as well, you can use various browser extensions like Stay Focused or Block Site, which makes some sites unavailable for certain set periods. Quick note, I've never used these before, but they appear to be good from what I've seen. Another thing I think you can do is to set screen time limits on how long you can use some apps in a day. So the moment you hit those limits, you can't access them for the rest of the day. In all, remember, time is a non-refundable currency. You have to do all you can to spend it wisely, no matter how difficult. Woo, that goes hard. Now that you figured out ways to work on preventing yourself from wasting time that you could be spending on improving your art, I think it's gonna be really helpful for you to learn a neat trick that's gonna really help you with your art growth. So you might want to click on this video. Feel free to leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments. I read and respond to all of them, and I am wishing you a swell, productive rest of your day.
Bye, have a great time.